Hey y'all, what's up? Big Willie here, and welcome back to another episode of our All the Mods Tend to the Sky, a Let's Play. In today's episode, we are going to do some expansion. We're going to get the RFTools builder put together. We're going to make a shaped card. We're going to make us some kind of island. I don't even know what kind yet. And then we're going to talk about moving a bunch of this stuff into that island so that we can have our automations for everything. We're going to sieve everything. We're going to try and do as much resource generation as we can in this pack in ways that we've not done it before. We've got some new stuff with gears and all sorts of other things. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so having said that, thank you for those of you that made it through the last episode. It was a hot mess. I had a roadmap on like how I wanted to do the episode, and then I was just on the struggle bus. I could not remember anything, but we got our snowballs put together. We got our ice manufacturing set up down in the basement, which all of this is going to have to move, and that's kind of why before we proceed into making the Deepslate that we need to make our upgrade templates and all, I want to get the new island set up because I want to be able to kind of start putting things in a more permanent home. Just because, you know, having to do stuff and then move it really is not fun. So on the clipboard, you know, you guys will have all kinds of ideas about what's coming, what I want to do in the pack. Some of the stuff may get removed, but there's 2 pages worth of stuff and another whole page of stuff that, you know, we want to sieve. Right here, we're going to start with the RFTools builder for island expansion. And I've got some stuff in the Don't Get Distracted Woolly Barrel. We're going to get this thing upgraded and renamed, and I'm going to start trying to use it again. So we've got some resource gen pieces all right here. We've got drawers for when we start sieving the world that I have framed and textured. Give you a little hint at some of the color and block palettes for the new stuff we're going to build. But we are going to start with just getting the RFTools builder made. It is not that much or expensive. You need some blue dye, some gold nuggets, iron ingots, and then the builder, we just need some bricks, which we already are getting clay automated. Showed you guys that a couple episodes ago. And we've got plenty of bricks being made. And there is the builder. The other thing that we're going to need, I do believe, if I remember how to use this thing right, is the shape card. So we need a couple more bricks and then a shape card. And we're going to need paper. So paper is one of those things that we are going to start running out of sugarcane, but I did go ahead and just old-fashioned plant some right here. I think sugarcane cannot be grown in a botany pot, right? Oh, it can. It needs sand. So we should get some sugarcane going in a hopper botany pot, which we did set up a few more in between. I got some carrots going so that we got food. I got soul sand and netherwort, and I got us some chorus flower going for chorus fruit and purpur, all of those things. As you can see, our blue ice and packed ice fully backed up. We got plenty of snowballs in here, and I moved the ice drawer over here, and I just piped the ice through the wall into this. So all of these drawers are connected and accessible from storage, and we're holding 2,000 of each tier of ice. Got pumpkins galore. We got oak logs. We got a lot of the things that we really need ready to go. Did a lot of that in between just to, you know, and that was when I decided that instead of continuing to cram more things down here, we really need a spot for all of our hopper botany pots. We need a better spot for, you know, storage controllers and stuff like that. And speaking of storage controllers, this thing's probably going to be able to reach our new island. We're going to build off the back out here. I'm going to take up some of this stuff, get us out a shovel, and we're going to work on carrying this path on out. So let's grab a shovel. Sure, we can make a diamond one. No biggie. We're going to just path our way, you know, on out the back half of the island here. And then we're going to build out and set this thing to work way out in the middle. But let's take a look at it before we get out there. And I did make another magmatic generator because this is going to take power. So I filled us up a drawer with 32 buckets of lava. I got us a base tier magmatic generator. That way we can turn this thing on once we get out to where we want it to be. Now, we're going to build the base of the island, I do believe, out of cobble, just because that's what we've got absolutely the most of. So I'm going to need to snag us up a drawer and fill it up with some cobble for this thing, but we can refill it as we go. For right now, I want to see just how far out I want this island to be. So if I go there and there and here, all right, so now we've got 3 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably, maybe a little more, 7, 8. All right, so kind of want this to be a bridge eventually that we'll build. But now let's go out to where the middle of what we want the next island to be. I don't want it to be perfectly in line with this bridge. I'd like it to be kind of offset. So we're going to come off of this edge and maybe step it over a couple. All right, and so that's 1, 2. We need to count how many so we know what to set the diameter of the shape we're going to tell the thing to build. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that'll make it, if we set it like right here, that'll build something that's like 30 across. If we do a circle or a bowl, kind of like one of the shapes I usually like from this thing. So let's sit this thing out here. Now, the other thing to remember is I think this thing's going to build up from where it is, with this being at the bottom of it. That's why I've put a platform here that we can, get it back from. And the question is going to be, do we want this other island to be higher? I ain't mad at it being higher, because we can make our bridge kind of go uphill to connect to it if we need to. Or, whatever else. Maybe we could go down too. I mean, we could go down several. All right, yeah. So let's put our little platform that we're going to build on down here. And we will nerd pole up or magnet that thing back to us, and we will build from here. I think this is still going to actually be probably too high for how this thing likes to build. Magnet on. Cool. All right, we can staircase our way back up. So for now, I'm going to break this stuff just to kind of get it out of the way. Don't really want to go all the way back. So let's do this. There we go. All right, so we're going to put the builder down right here in what would have been the middle. Let's see, right there, right here. This would be the middle. So as you can see, this has nothing in it, but we have a shape card that we can tell it how we want it to build. So if we sneak right click on the builder to start the mark, and then we mark the corners if we want to do a solid, but we don't want to do a solid. We want to change this to hollow, and we want to go with a bottom dome, and we want it to be dimensions. In the X, we want it to be, what did we say, 15? And then in the Y, we want it to be 15. And then how many did we drop down? Like 7 blocks tall, something like that. Okay, and I think, yeah, that should work. So now if we put that in there, it's going to need power. And we're going to put this fluid drawer right there. And then we need a fluid pipe out of our backpack. And we can tell it to extract. And that's going to power this, which should start charging our shape builder. Now, the last thing it needs is it needs an inventory with blocks to build out of. You can use whatever you want, any block, and if I remember correctly, you just sit it on top and it should go and build out of that, or it maybe wants it beside it. I can't remember. We're about to find out though, because this thing is on, I do believe. It's redstone on to activate, so we need a lever. And if we put a lever down, this thing should build us kind of like a bowl. All right, so as you can see, this is not enough power for it to run off of, but it is building. And then the question is going to be, is it going to build how we want it to? Building down, which is not exactly what I wanted. And it's not as big as I wanted either. So let's turn this thing off and let's try again. I think there's a way to visualize this before we start it for the next one. So let's see, sphere, cylinder, capped cylinder, prism, torus, cone. That might be the one I like. No, cone is the other one. Let's do... See, this built down from here, which is not what I'm used to. Let's dig and find out. Yeah, see, it built a hollow dome. 15 by 15, which is kind of what I wanted, but I wanted it up higher. So I guess we need to counter offset and try again. So, and it needs to be way bigger. We want it, let's go 30 by 30, and hollow is definitely fine. And we want it offset by negative or 4. Let's try that. So if we put that module in, there should be a way to visualize it. Hold on, let me see. Okay, preview. There we go. So let's get a little bit of this so we can pillar our way up. Oh no. All right. I find it hard to believe I can walk on the preview. Well, the preview actually looks pretty good. Maybe one more block tall. Look at that. Mobs are spawning on the preview, which is odd to me. I can't believe that the preview is solid blocks, so let's turn the preview off. And then, what did I say we wanted? I said we wanted it one bigger, right? Or one taller. So let's go with a, why don't we leave the offset the same and let's go with 8 there. And let's see if that gets us where we want to be. We want to make it one taller. Okay, let's make it one taller. And we're going to go 32 by 32. And we do still want it to be hollow. We ran out of cobble. Let's get it more cobble. And that is done. We need a feral flare lantern stat. Let's break through and put it down here in this bottom hollow area, which we will eventually probably open up to, because that's kind of about the size I really wanted. So we built like 2 domes to get what I really wanted for a shape and size, but that's okay. Let's put a stair here, and then we can get into here. All right. So this is going to be our new island. We're going to dress it up with dirt and other things. We are going to make some room in here. I kind of want it to be deeper than it ended up being. So we may have to fidget with this just a little bit more, but I'm actually not mad at how it is right now. And did we line up with our bridge? Look at that. Yes, that's going to line up perfect with where I wanted it to line up to. And it gives us room to put some dirt on top of here and make this grassy and, you know, pretty for everything. And then we're going to have space underneath, which we're going to have to work on clearing out and figuring out where everything kind of runs out to with how we did this in sections. So if I was to start breaking out stuff here, this will kind of give us an idea of just how much of a space underneath we're going to have. So yeah, I'm going to work on cleaning up the inside of this to look more like I really wanted in the first place. And I'll be right back with you when it's done. Cavity's hollowed out. It's not quite as big as I was hoping for, but it'll be the first of probably several islands I'm going to build and work on filling in. We'll get dirt all around them so they look more like, you know, our starter islands and dress them up as much as we can. But this one will definitely do. We're going to probably need some elevator blocks and some other things. But that is the RFTools builder. And you saw it builds fast, doesn't cost a lot. We can take our little power setup with us right up until the point where we get into Flux Networks, which will hopefully be soon. And it makes for a fast island. So while you guys were away, this gentleman showed up and sold me this axe, which killed him really well. But it's got all kinds of great enchants on it. So if you've got Wandering Traders show up, look at the tools and armor they give you, because I've gotten these awesome Thunderforged leg guards off of him, and I've gotten this axe off of him, all of which we're going to be able to later on strip these enchants off and put them on whatever we want. So absolutely awesome that, you know, you can get such great you know, gear like that just from the guy that shows up at your base who annoys you with his But anyways, so here's the start of the island. We're gonna slap some dirt on the outside of it. As I put the dirt on, I may try to work on shaping it, but it's gonna be hard for me to get to the outside of this, which is something I kind of want to get to. I would like to get to the ritual of flight with Ars Nouveau, maybe not in this episode, so we're probably just gonna put some dirt on the top of this and start on the inside with some of the work that I want to get done in today's episode. But I wanted a new island to get started. I want to automate sieves. Okay, and I want to do that for a lot of reasons. But we need more resources to get to the sieves, and these Zycraft extractor setups take up a ton of space. And we've got 2 more of those that we need for resources that we want to sieve. So that was why we needed to get a new space set up on the new island for us to be able to do it. Now, the ice in the last episode is what we needed for both of these extractor setups. One of them is going to make blackstone, and one of them is going to make Deepslate for us. And I have everything we need for both of those crafts right here. So let me get all these materials together, and I'll meet you guys over in the newly created space inside of that other island. Would you look at that? A rainbow after it finally quit raining. All right, down here into the depths. This being deep is kind of good for these Zycraft setups because they can take up a lot of space. But first things first, this calls for soul soil. If you do not have soul soil in your world, it can be made via barrel mixing. Very simple. All you need is a barrel that's not going to burn, so a stone barrel, a bucket of lava, and then if you take and you right-click that bucket of lava with soul sand, it's going to give you soul soil. So just in case you don't have soul soil in your world yet, and you needed a way to make it, there you go. So I look, Matt's in the Don't Get Distracted Woolly barrel, and I remembered that it was there. Sweet. We're getting ready to set up the Deepslate and blackstone via the extractor. We just covered that. And we covered the RFTools builder for island expansion, which you guys have now seen in action. This is probably not my best work with it, but you can play around with those settings all you want and tweak it to your own desire. Changing the depth changes like how far down the island goes. And I have learned that for especially when you're dealing with like these spheres and stuff, Always make it bigger than you really think you need, and deeper than you think you need, because like you can see here, we really don't have a lot of depth in this shape right here, but it should be more than enough for what we're trying to set up. So let's take a look. We have 2 barrels right here with the things we want in them, and that is Deepslate and Blackstone. Those are going to go on top of the extractors once we get them set up, but let's take a look at what the recipe for Blackstone says with the extractor. It says we need blue ice. Haha, hence why we did everything we needed last time. 1 Blackstone under it, lava, and soul soil. So, conveniently, now that we're in this little like bowl area down here, we could probably, let's see, the Blackstone goes under it. Let me grab just a piece of cobble here, or 2, or a whole stack. We're going to put that there. We can put our lava that it wants in this hole back there. Wait. Sorry. That Blackstone needs to be under the extractor. So let's do this. And then let's make sure we look at the recipe, right? Oh no, all of those go on the same level. You had it right the first time, Wooly. So Blackstone in the middle. Lava. And then it was blue ice. Right, for this one? Blue ice and soul soil. So blue ice and soul soil. And then if we put the extractor on top of the Blackstone, you can see up there at the top in the tooltip, it shows that it's going to make Blackstone. All that's really left to do is take our drawer and place it on top of the extractor here. And that is going to make us Blackstone indefinitely. Now, let's see if we're within reach. Oh, it looks like we are still inside the cube of reach. So if we link it, lock it, now we have access anywhere in our base, including here in our wireless, to Blackstone. So if we take it all out, drawer's empty, but it's already filling back up. And now we can fill it back up with the stuff we just took out. And we're making Blackstone indefinitely. And we're going to bring some of the other Zycraft extractor setups over here, and we'll be able to hide them underneath. Now let's take a look at our other item we want to make. We want to make Deepslate. This one takes packed ice, a magma block, cobbled Deepslate, lava, and the extractor. Now this one's going to be another block taller, so we will want to put the magma block down in the floor. If you don't have magma blocks, you get magma blocks a couple of different ways. The easiest one, you are getting magma cream from sifting crushed Blackstone. So hence why we're going to be wanting to sift this, is that's one of the resources it gives us access to, and it's used for more than just making magma blocks. Fire charges, all sorts of other stuff use it too. So we are going to want to be able to make that. And then it is just a piece of cobbled Deepslate above that, and lava on one side and packed ice on the other. So just like before, we're going to need to make a little setup for this to have room. So why don't we come, we can go like right here. So if we were to put our packed ice there, and then we were to put our magma block here, put our cobbled Deepslate on top of it, and then we just need lava on one of the other sides. How about we just kind of hide our magma block with another piece of cobblestone? And put that there. And now should say that it's going to make Deepslate. And we can put our Deepslate drawer on top. All that's left, lock and link. So lock, link. And now we should show 21 Deepslate or more. 28. Let's pull it all out and make sure that, you know, we got it all in here. Yep, there you go. So now we're making both Deepslate and blackstone that we can use for sieving processes. Now, unfortunately, because we're making this as Deepslate, we're going to have to, I think, hammer it twice. I'm not sure if Deepslate hammers into cobbled Deepslate or crushed Deepslate. We'll have to take a look at that and find out. Now that we have automated Deepslate and blackstone, I want to auto sieve and automate everything. That's because I want to be able to automate ore processing, which we're going to do with mechanical squeezer and a sag mill. We want to set up drawers for all the ores that we're getting from sieving and everything like that. I want to get Ender IO travel anchors so that we can just travel down there and then back over here and all of that. But that is all going to take more time than we have left in today's episode. But there is one thing, now that we have Deepslate, that we can get done that was the start out goal of the last episode, and that is our netherite upgrade template. The reason I want it so bad is I want the bigger backpack. I mean, come on, just being honest. So the last thing we needed to make was the gem fused slate, which is just wrapping deepstone around some gem dust. And as we wait on the server to realize I've clicked that button, and then we can proceed. There we go. We will hopefully be able to wrap up this episode the way I want to here with making our upgrade template, our netherite one. The server is, it's not the server, it's the connectivity to it. And I'm just hoping we can make it through the last little bit here. There we go. So now we need to make our diamond template. We finally can make 2 of them. And then now we should be able to make our netherite one once we make a netherite ingot. So there's a netherite ingot. And now we can craft up a netherite upgrade. Once we have that, now we can duplicate them up using netherrack and diamonds to make sure that we don't run out. And last, but definitely not least on today's episode, if we grab ourselves one more piece of netherite, we can take our backpack off and we can upgrade it to the top tier with a smithing table, which I don't have. I made one to make the salvaging table, but we don't actually have one for use. So there's a smithing table. Let's toss it, I don't know, right here next to the lectern's fine. In goes the backpack. And just like that, we now have the big bad mamma jamma of a backpack for our back. We're gonna have to rearrange where all of our stored stuff is down here, but we made it. We got all the way to our netherite template. We have our Deepslate and our blackstone ready to go. That will make basically all the resources we need for sieving, you know, being auto-generated. We do need to get some hammers going with, you know, backlogs for things like gravel and sand and dust so that we have those available to us to sieve constantly. But there's plenty of room down here or on maybe another island that I will build in between episodes for us to get that going. So we stayed much more on task today and made it through the list and got a lot of things marked off of here. Next time, we're going to be focusing on automating ore processing and automating everything with the sieves. We're going to sieve gravel, dust, sand, soul sand, crushed blackstone, crushed endstone, and potentially crushed deepslate. We're going to get drawers set up for all of that to manage all those resources, make it better. We're probably going to use a access point for the controller wherever we set up all the sieving. So hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you have. Subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and we'll see y'all next time.